What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 13 today of the Huddersfield Town Career Mode. And today's episode, we have 3 games to come, all of them being in the Premier League. But we kick-started off, guys, with a signing on deadline day. Of course, I had no money left, no transfer money, but I did have about £60,000 in the wage budget, So I was able to try and find a loan deal. So in the end, I went to the loan list. I was trying to decide who I could bring in, and Baba Rahman popped up from Chelsea. So I was like, okay, yeah, we've got Low at left back. We've also got who is the other guy we just brought in? That one from Spain. I think it's Mark is his first name. That's what we're calling him. And I just decided, you know what? Baba Rahman, he's a 78 rated left back. He could come in for the next year and do a good job for us. So as you can see, he does join up, and Chelsea actually agreed to pay 40% of his wages, which I was extremely happy with. So in terms of a signing, we're actually only paying 60% of his overall wage, which isn't too bad at all. You can see there as I'm going through his stats, how good he is for the club. So he won't play every game, guys. I will still put my faith in Low and also in Mark as well, but he's still going to play for us. And the beauty about that signing is I could always play him at right back if we needed to. So that was more of like a squad depth signing type of thing rather than me just looking to bring in one more last name before the end of the window. So he will work well for us. Hopefully we'll have a good couple of games for us down the line. Some good games as well, and play very well before he goes back to Chelsea. So as I said, only got him here for a year, but it should still be a year long enough. But we're going into the first game here, guys, up against Liverpool, and it is actually going to be Baba Rahman's debut here. He will start the game at the John Smith Stadium against the Liverpool, and it was going to be tough. As you know, we've managed to find, I would say, the right balance in the sliders for the series now. I feel like this is the correct way to go forward in terms of the sliders. I feel like these are the, what makes the games more interesting and harder for me personally. So as the two teams lined up, you can see there, we have the same team, barring Baba Rahman, is the only new addition to it who hasn't played a game yet for Huddersfield. So Green's still in goal, which is something that I'm trying to improve on. Of course, we've got a pre-contract signing of a goalkeeper joining us next year. I can't remember his name, though. He is 81 rated. And we've also got, I think it's Hall as well, who is sat in the reserves from the Youth Academy at the moment, growing very nicely indeed. So it's looking pretty good for our keeper after this season. It's just we've got to bear and grin with Robert Green for now. And as you can see, we started this game against Liverpool off with an absolute banger. 31 minutes in, Rashford goes down the left-hand side, whips a cross in, and there was the top scorer in the Premier League this season in the form of Smolov to head us 1 goal into the lead. So Liverpool caught napping in this one. It was a fairly easy goal for us to score as well. Smolov doesn't miss them from there. 16 goals now in the Premier League for him this year. What a bargain he has been for us. He cost us £16.6 million, and he's already hit 16 league goals this year. So, yeah, as I said, that's like $1 million a goal, which is very, very good. And then something happened, guys, at the back. I just don't know what happened there. Rob Green should have come out and collected that ball. He gets in the way of my defender. He then makes another mistake here. Comes out for this corner, and I didn't even get a chance to try and look at what happened. I only saw it on the replay afterwards. It's actually Rob Green who puts this into his own net. He comes out to try and win the corner, doesn't get anywhere near it, and gives away a free goal to Liverpool. So we were back all square. Second half kicked off, and it became an onslaught of Liverpool chances. Let me just say that. They did not give me a moment to rest. I could not get out of my box. We got very lucky there that one was called offside, and Liverpool kept coming at me. Wijnaldum there with that chance as Green makes a save. They get a corner, which is eventually going to be taken by Insigne after a couple of substitutions were made. And then Insigne whips this one into the middle. You can see they win the header, and it goes over the top via a deflection from us. They get another corner after that, and it goes to the near post this time, where Daniel Sturridge is waiting, and he's in between 2 Huddersfield men, and yet he still wins the header. So yeah, onslaught of chances from Liverpool, but it's still 1-1. 5 minutes to go now. Mohamed Salah down the right does me with that little turn there. Does Schindler as well. Gets it to the middle, feeds it to Adam Lallana. Lallana gets the initial strike away. It comes off of the post. And for some reason, Rob Holding takes a touch. This is something I want to touch upon. I did not want him to bring that ball under control. I was spamming the B button to try and make him clear it first time, and instead he took a touch which then put it into the path of Lallana, who continued his run forward, and he slotted home. To be honest, Liverpool deserved it. Liverpool deserved to get the second goal. They deserved to pick up the 3 points from the game. But I was more frustrated about the way that it happened. Just in that simple bit there, that Rob Holding, I was trying to spam B to clear the ball, and it just didn't do it. He tried to take an extra touch, which I don't know why he did that. But to be fair, as I said, Liverpool deserved to pick up the 3 points. They deserved the victory from the game. We weren't good enough. You can see the match facts afterwards, guys. We had one shot in the entire game, and it actually went in. So yeah, it was one of those games where I just didn't play very well. And if you take out the Rob Green mistake earlier on, maybe it would have been a different game. But match facts-wise, they just showed dominance, did Liverpool, and an onslaught of chances, and finally converted one that mattered to them. So they did get the 3 points from the game. So slightly disappointing way to start the episode off, but if I'm being honest, these sliders that I've switched up with, guys, do make the game significantly harder. I am certainly feeling the difference. I don't know why, but it does feel a lot more difficult than it was previously. To create chances as well as trying to defend, it is a lot more difficult. But I suppose it makes the series a little bit more interesting. The only kind of downfall I've got about this, guys, is that Watford, most likely now, if we keep playing the way we are with these sliders, are probably going to end up winning the division. So would you say that it's a realistic season, Watford winning the league, even if we don't? I don't know, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Anyways, but into the second game, guys. I wasted no time at all. Wanted to get straight into another one after that disappointing defeat to Liverpool. We're taking on Bournemouth. It's yet again another home game in the episode. Sliders remaining exactly the same for this one. Although I did actually bump up the shot error, sorry, yeah. Never mind, the sliders didn't exactly remain the same. I put the shot error of the AI back down, or back to what it was, you know, the default one, so that even if they were creating chances, I was still going to have a, you know, kind of a decent time at trying to save them. Because it felt like Liverpool were a lot more accurate than they probably needed to be. Like, my goalkeeper literally didn't do anything in the game, barring maybe 1 or 2 saves, and then, of course, putting into his own net. So I moved the shot error back to 50, and that should hopefully make the games a little bit more, I guess, not easier for me, but make it so I'm a little bit more competitive, you know, so they're not scoring off every chance that they get, which, to be fair, Liverpool didn't, but I have had games in the past where I've given away 1 shot, and they score that 1 shot, and I end up with a 1-0 defeat or a 1-1 draw. So, yeah, I put it back. Everything remained the same, though, for the AI run frequency. The pass error was still at 35, so, of course, it makes their passes more accurate, and that kind of stuff, so it's harder to tackle them. But this game against Bournemouth, guys, was truly very difficult. Both teams had even amount of chances. First one of the game comes to us. Marcus Rashford, good Ronaldo chop, gets enough on the ball to steer it goalwards, but the keeper makes a save. It honestly wasn't going to go in. And then from the corner, whips it in, gets Palmer on the edge of this one, which I don't know what that volley was from him. That was an actual shot, not a pass. And he just didn't get any power behind it at all. But then 12 minutes from time, Bournemouth started to get themselves into this now, and it was Charlie Daniels into his teammate, and it's a nice bit of passing here from Bournemouth, to be fair to them. Josh King ends up turning in the area, gets the strike away, it comes off of the post, and it was thankfully stayed out for us, and that was the way the game ended. So again, very low chances for us, very low chances this time though for Bournemouth as well. Different from the Liverpool game. Match facts wise, it was fairly even, and I would say the point was a fair result from that one there. So disappointing way to start, semi-disappointing way to continue the episode. Hopefully, maybe we'll get off to winning ways in the final game of today's episode, which isn't very likely, guys, because the team we're playing now is Manchester United, who haven't enjoyed a great start to the season, but their team is still unbelievably good. So yeah, it's strange to see them all the way down that table when their team is as good as it is right now. You'll see it when we get into game. And also, I have to go you guys an apology. I forgot Rashford, of course, is only on loan here, so he shouldn't have played in this one against United, but I forgot when I went into it. And then, of course, about 60 minutes, I realised Rashford was still on the pitch, and I could have substituted him off, but I just thought there's no point now. I've already gone into game. So my bad, guys. Shouldn't have played Rashford for this one. Of course, United being his parent club, he wouldn't have been able to play. So my apologies for that one. So yeah, I made a mistake. My bad. But into the next game anyways. Man United at Old Trafford. I was here literally on Saturday. So I can now tick that off my list and say that I have seen a sporting event at Old Trafford. Anyways, moving into this one, I was feeling not really very confident at all. The defeat to Liverpool, we got battered in that one. We then played against Bournemouth. Didn't look great in that one either. And I just did not see how we were going to be able to break down United and keep them at bay with the team that they had. So that was what I named anyway, guys. Same team that started the last 2 games, I do believe, for us in this one, as David De Gea, of course, the United goalkeeper, is going to be so difficult to beat. But we did create the first opportunity. It took 66 minutes in. Smolov gets on the end of this one, feeds it to Palmer. Palmer's strike was well deflected wide, and we end up with a corner. And, of course, United are quite a dominant team in the air in some aspects of it, with Maran Fellaini and people like that. But luckily, we did win the header from Rashford, and he went over the top of the crossbar. So we ended up with the chance going begging. And 77 minutes in, we were creating good opportunities. I tried to feed in Palmer, but Pogba gets back, does his defensive duties well. Valencia with a long ball up to Anthony Martial, but it ends up being, I do believe, the fullback. I think it was, who is it? It's Bertrand, sorry. Bertrand ends up being the man to win that header. And then somehow I make the tackle with Baba Rahman on one of the Man United players. He bounces straight back off his shin, falls to the path of Lindelof, and as a centre-back, he hits an absolute worldie into the back of the net. It was actually Mkhitaryan, the man who I won the tackle off originally, and he just bounced straight back off his shin to Lindelof, and he finished like a striker. What on earth is that? That is ridiculous from the centre-back. So, again, disappointing. I didn't feel like we deserved to be 1-0 down, and that was just annoying as hell. So 90 minutes on the clock, it looked as if we were heading for another disappointing result, but Kachunga into the substitute billing, and he puts his volley past David De Gea to get us what is a very, very well-deserved point, in my opinion, from this game. Like, as I said, we didn't, in my opinion, deserve to be 1-0 down. I felt like both teams had an equal amount of chances, and this game was, kind of both teams going at it and trying to get themselves in the lead. So I felt like if we were to lose that to a Lindelof one goal, where it was just, I made the tackle and it bounced straight back to United, I would have felt extremely hard done by. But, luckily for us, Billing gets on the end of the Kachunga cross, two substitutes linking up, and it was a great finish as well from our holding midfielder. Now, I forgot to show you as well, guys, but a bit of news is Jonathan Hogg, sadly, is now injured for 3 months. He picked up an injury in one of the games. I think it was Liverpool, the first game we played, and I forgot to show you it. I've just remembered now. So, yeah, he's out for 3 months, which means we're going to have to either play Palmer, Munier, and then move, of course, Aaron White back, or we could play Billing on top of that. So I don't know what I'm going to do regarding that situation. I'll make my decision, see how they're all playing, but certainly Billing putting up a case as to why he should be starting with that finish there. So a very important point there to end the gameplay for today's episode. So it means we didn't end up with all 3 of them are defeats, but we didn't win a game either. That was the most important thing to remember. And as we went into that, guys, the next game we've got coming up, it's the cup final against Spurs. So, given the current form we're in, I'm not so sure how that game is going to go. But, of course, it will be a live con for you all in the next episode when we do take on Spurs for that cup final. So, hopefully, you're all enjoying this series, and hopefully, you're all excited for that as well. I did have a few international offers, but right now I'm not looking to become an international manager at this current time. I want to get the the series going with Huddersfield first, then make a decision later on about international management. But that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. If you have enjoyed it, a like frame would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for your continued support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I will see you all again at 6 p.m. UK time tonight, guys, for another episode of The Journey. We're a few chapters away now from completing the journey, and then when that is done, we can go back to having basically daily uploads of one of our other series. So yeah, hopefully you guys are excited. I'll see you all again at 6, guys. See you all then. Adios.